Sir, am I audible? Swati?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. स्ट्रीमिंग पण सुरू केलंय.
हा यूट्यूब सुरू आहे कंटिन्युअस, त्यामुळे फोटो दिसतात आपले.
ओके.
हा म्हणून मी सध्या व्हिडिओ ऑफ करून ठेवलाय. हा येस येस, क्लिअरली.
सर, युट्यूब स्ट्रीम करताना सरांना पिन कराल त्याच्यामध्ये, जसं तुमच्याकडे असतं ना याच्यावर झूम करताना पिन कराल. म्हणजे तेच दिसते, नंतर तुम्ही ते दिसत पाहिजे असं बघायला. बानेवाड सर, हॅलो.
हा येस.
तर तुम्ही युट्यूब स्ट्रीम करताना थोडंसं मेडिटेशन म्युझिक वगैरे पण लावू शकता तिथे जरी असेल तुमच्या याच्यावर.
अच्छा,
त्याच्यावर
सध्या
ते
त्याचे
विंडो सेट करायला. ते काही ना काही सुरू राहते. युट्यूब त्याच्यामध्ये हे दाखवून द्यायला.
मॉर्निंग मॅडम. मॉर्निंग पाणीवर
गुड मॉर्निंग शेखर सर.
मुलांना मेल करतोय युट्यूबची. युट्यूब ओपन होतंय का पाहिलं का? होतंय का पाहिलं का?
हां सर.
कॉलेजला आहात?
हा मॅडम, इकडे जरा काम होतं माझं थोडं. ती गाडी द्यायची होती सर्व्हिसिंगला, टोईंग साठी ते आले होते, त्यामुळे यावंच लागलं तुमच्या इकडे.
अरे देवा. अजून पोरं तर काय जॉईन झालेली दिसत नाही.
तरी गेलं आता परत एकदा सर्वांना. त्या मुलांना मेसेज रिमाइंडर द्यावे व्हॉट्सअप. भानेवार सर ती आपल्याला फीडबॅकची लिंक युट्यूब वर कशी टाकता येईल?
ती यूट्यूबवर त्या मेसेज एखाद्या तुम्ही ज्यावेळेस यूट्यूब हे करता की नाही,
हं.
तर तुमच्या याच्यावरनं तुम्ही मेसेज करा ना त्या याच्यावर.
अच्छा. तिथे
म्हणजे तिथे
खाली काहीतरी मॅटर पेस्ट करता येत असतो, तिथे पेस्ट केली तर?
हां, तिथेच म्हणजे चॅटबॉक्स जो येतो ना तिथे बाजूला मेसेजच्या याच्यात.
चॅट बॉक्स नव्हे, जो व्हिडिओ ज्याचा असतो तिथे खाली डिस्क्रिप्शन साठी जागा असते ना व्हिडिओच्या,
हो तिथेच.
ते नाही मग ती, कुणाला आम्हाला करता येईल ते?
हां, तुम्हाला पण करता येईल, कोणाला पण करता येतं. म्हणजे तुम्ही इव्हन मेसेज करू शकता ना तिथे. जे काय आपण मेसेज करतो ते मेसेज करता येईल यूट्यूबवर आपल्याला. हां, तुम्हाला पण करता येईल, कोणाला पण करता येईल. म्हणजे तुम्ही इव्हन मेसेज करू शकता ना तिथे. जे काय आपण मेसेज करतो ते मेसेज करता येईल यूट्यूबवर आपल्याला. मला वाटतं यूट्यूब आणि ते हे दोन्ही ॲट अ टाइम सुरू असल्यामुळे ते कोणाची मॅडम तुमच्या याच्यावर सुरू आहे का भारत मॅडम?
नाही मीच असतो
नाही, मी
त्यामुळे.
युट्यूब माझं नाही चालू केलंय.
हां, कोणाच्या तरी याच्यावर यूट्यूब आणि हे दोन्ही ॲट अ टाइम सुरू आहे, त्याच्यामुळे मग ते दोन्ही थोड्या वेळाने हे येतं, आवाज येतो.
थोडा स्लॅग येतो त्याच्यात.
नाही, तो तर येतोच थोडासा. स्ट्रीमिंगला एक हे असतो, म्हणजे थोडासा एक थोड्या वेळाने स्ट्रीम होतं ते, म्हणजे एकदम
हा
लाईव्ह
हा.
नसतं ते. एक 2-4 सेकंदाचा 5 सेकंदाचा तो असतोच गॅप.
तो आवाजाचा इको येईल म्हणून मी बंद ठेवलंय ते.
हां, तेच मी पण. त्याच्यामध्ये शिखर सर, त्याच्यामध्ये ना एक लाईव्ह चॅट म्हणून एक ऑप्शन असतं यूट्यूबच्या याच्यावर.
हो हो.
तर तिथे तुम्हाला ती लिंक पेस्ट करता येईल, किंवा तुम्हाला जो मेसेज आहे किंवा जे काही इन्फॉर्मेशन द्यायची ती देता येते आपल्याला.
ते आपल्यापैकी मग एकाला तिकडेच तेच चालू ठेवावं लागेल, कारण इकडे 2-2 वेळा आवाज येत आहे मग मला तिकडे येत नाही.
नाही, मग हे करता येईल ना, म्हणजे तो त्याचा यूट्यूबचा जो साऊंड आहे तो बंद करता येईल ना आपल्याला. म्हणजे तुमच्या
अच्छा.
यूट्यूबच्या याच्यावर आपला जो असतो की नाही तिथे व्हॉल्यूम असतं यूट्यूबचं, व्हॉल्यूमचं स्पीकरचं, ते ऑफ करता येतं ना.
बरं. नाही, ते काहीतरी प्रॉब्लेम दाखवतो युट्यूबला, साइन इन करता येत नाहीये मला. चॅट करायला लॉग इन करावं लागणार आहे.
नाही सर, लाईव्ह चॅटिंग करतात ना लोक.
हो, पण ते लॉग इन करावं लागते मॅडम. साइन इन करावं लागत आहे, आणि साइन इन पेजच ओपन होत नाही माझं. दिस साईट कांट बी रिच्ड म्हणत आहे. माहित नाही, तुम्ही ट्राय करता मॅडम?
बघते बघ. मी साइन इन तर केलेलं नाहीये. आय ट्राय.
मी आता इथे लिंक पेस्ट केलेली तुम्हाला दिसते का भानेवार सर?
जस्ट अ मिनिट, वेट, जस्ट चेक.
चॅट बॉक्स मध्ये झूमला.
हां, झूमला दिसते ना.
हा, बरोबर. मी आता इथे लिंक पेस्ट केलेली तुम्हाला दिसते का भानेवार सर?
स्वातीच्या याच्यावर मला वाटतं यूट्यूब आणि हे दोन्ही सुरू आहे.
हा, मे बी. नाही, पण त्यांचा आता म्यूट आहे ना आवाज, कुठून काय?
नाही, त्यांचा जरी म्यूट असेल तरी ॲक्च्युली
नाही
माझे
युट्यूब
हां, मी
नाही
तर बंद केलं.
युट्यूब
ॲट अ टाइम कोणाचं सुरू आहे, कारण मी तर बंद केलंय.
मी चालू केलंय, माझं चालू आहे.
ओके.
माझा
ते
टीव्ही सुरू.
मी
ओके, ट्राय.
फीडबॅक
हां,
पोस्ट करून बघते सर. तुम्ही पण करा, 2-4 वेळा मध्ये मध्ये करायला लागेल ती.
मला शेखर सरांची लिंक नाही दिसत आहे.
कशावर?
मला पण
चॅटबॉक्सवर?
मॅडम, ती फक्त मी बानेवार सरांनाच सेंड केली, म्हणून त्यांनाच दिसत असेल फक्त.
अच्छा, ठीक आहे,
त्या मुलं
चालेल.
पण काही जॉईन झालेत ना, ते आताच ओपन करतील फॉर्म.
माझी लिंक दिसते का स्वाती? दिसते?
एक मिनिट.
युट्यूब वरती म्हणताय का मॅडम?
नाही, मला कोणतीच लिंक नाही दिसत आहे.
माझी दिसते.
नाही.
मग ती फक्त मला वाटतं जो स्ट्रीमिंग करतो त्यालाच दिसते असं वाटतंय.
फीडबॅक लिंक
गुड
मला
मॉर्निंग.
काहीतरी आलंय
मेसेज
मॅडम.
दिसत आहे मॅडम,
मॅडम
दिसत
तुमचं
आहे
आलंय मला.
आलं?
दिसत आहे मॅडमचं युट्यूब वरती.
हा मॅडमची दिसते. तुम्हाला दिसतंय शेखर सर?
मला फक्त लिंक नाही दिसत, फीडबॅक लिंक असं
हा
लिहिलेलं
म्हणजे
फक्त
फीडबॅक
दिसत
लिंक
आहे
फक्त
ते.
तेवढं दिसतंय काहीतरी लिहिलेलं.
मला काहीच नाही दिसत आहे. हे कोण आहे? सर कोण आहे ते?
आता लिंक दिसते का?
मी साइन इन नाही केलेलं झूम मध्ये, मला नाही दिसत आहे.
नाही झूम नाही याच्यात.
युट्यूब वरती हो.
युट्यूब वर
YouTube ला.
तिथे दिसत ना, तिथे कॉमेंट
नाही
मध्ये पण टाकून द्या सर, तुम्ही लाईव्ह मध्ये पण टाकून द्या ना, दोन्ही याच्यात.
मॅडमचं फक्त ते फीडबॅक लिंक असं टेक्स्ट लिहिलेलं दिसतोय आणि सरांनी आता गुड मॉर्निंग ऑल मेसेज
मी लिंक पण
टाकलेलं.
टाकली ना सर, लिंक पण पेस्ट केली.
नाही माहिती, मग इथं तर दिसत नाहीये. मला तर दिसत नाही, माझं युट्यूबला साइन इन नाही.
YouTube.
साइन इन का होत नाही पण माझं? मी साइन इन करत आहे पण पेजच ओपन होत नाही साइन इनचं.
कुलकर्णी सर पण जॉईन नाही झाले अजून.
10 मिनिटं वेळ आहे.
बाकी आपला स्टाफ कुठे आहे?
होतील 10 मिनिटं आहे वेळ अजून.
गायत्री मॅडम, शेखर सर, नमस्कार.
नमस्कार,
वेलकम सर.
हा, नमस्कार. आलोय बरं.
गुरुजी नमस्कार.
अरे आलेत का? नमस्कार नमस्कार.
आलेत का? म्हणजे आम्ही काय होस्ट आहे आम्ही आज.
बरं बरं बरं.
गुड मॉर्निंग सर.
व्हेरी गुड मॉर्निंग. व्हेरी
अगदी सर, चहा कार्यक्रम झाल्यावर ऑनलाईन चहा पाण्याचा आनंद घ्यावा.
आता त्यांनी काही बोलू नये.
हो, आता अजून लाईव्ह स्ट्रीम सुरू नाही झालं ना, की झालंय?
चाललंय.
अच्छा झालंय. बरं. कारण कालच सरांनी भजे विजे खाऊ घातले, त्याच्यामुळे मला लगे आज भुका नाही येणार काही.
शेखर सर मी लिंक पण टाकली, काही दिसतंय युट्यूबवर?
पाहतो. नाही राव, मला दिसतच नाहीये. तुमचं आणखी एक काहीतरी फीडबॅक लिंक फॉर टुडेज टॉक असं दिसत आहे फक्त. युट्यूबला कोणाचं लॉग इन आहे त्यांनी बघा. स्वाती
मी
मॅडम
तर-
तुमचं लॉग इन असेल ना युट्यूबला, तुम्ही बघा मेसेजेस कसे दिसत आहेत.
मला पण लिंक नाही दिसत आहे.
काहीतरी गडबड आहे.
लिंक कोण? फीडबॅक मॅम ग्रुप मध्ये, व्हॉट्सअपच्या ग्रुप मध्ये एकदा फीडबॅक लिंक टाका.
हा, टाकून दे.
व्हॉट्सअपच्या
तुम्ही
याच्यावर
टाका. माझ्याकडे
टाकतो,
नाही
टाकतो.
लिंक, तुम्ही व्हॉट्सअपला टाका म्हणजे मी
ISC
याच्यावर टाकून
कम्युनिकेशनला
बघते.
टाकू?
live stream मध्ये.
ISC कम्युनिकेशनला टाकतो.
communication टाका. हो, आयएससी कम्युनिकेशन.
टाकलेलं आहे.
Hello, Dr. Banewar.
गुड मॉर्निंग सर.
गुड मॉर्निंग सर.
Good morning. Am I audible?
येस येस.
Yes.
गुड मॉर्निंग सर.
Good morning.
शेखर सर, आता लिंक दिसते का बघा?
हा 5. Refresh करू. नाही हो मॅडम, तुमचंही तसंच दिसत आहे.
नाही दिसत आहे.
नाही ना. काय माहित. तुमचं साइन इन आहे का तिथे? तुम्ही चॅट केलाय याचा अर्थ साइन इन आहे तुमचं.
हो.
नाही, मला काय म्हणायचंय, इथे युट्यूबच्या इथे डिस्क्रिप्शन लिहायला एक जागा असते, तिकडे नाही टाकता येणार का लिंक आपल्याला चॅट बॉक्सच्या ऐवजी?
टाकता येते, ते यांना टाकावं लागेल बाणेवार सरांना. बाणेवार सर,
येस सर, ट्राय करतोय.
हो.
हॅलो, पाध्ये सर जॉईन झालेत?
हो.
हो सर, नमस्कार.
हा, नमस्कार नमस्कार. हॅलो, पाध्ये सर जॉईन झालेत?
हो.
हा, नमस्कार नमस्कार.
हॅलो शेखर सर.
हा.
सर, ते लिंकचं तुम्ही विचारत होते ना, ऍक्च्युली युट्यूब वरती लिंक्स बॅन आहे कारण ते स्पॅम होतात ना.
होय का?
हा, मग तुम्ही एकतर त्या व्हिडिओच्या डिस्क्रिप्शन मध्ये टाका ती लिंक,
हा हा.
कारण
नाही,
की
मी तेच
कमेंट्स.
म्हटलं, व्हिडिओच्या डिस्क्रिप्शन मध्येच टाकायला सांगा तुम्ही सरांना.
हा सर, कमेंट्स त्यांनी ऑफ केलेत कारण ते स्पॅम होतात कधी कधी.
बरं.
लिंक्स बॅन आहे कारण ते. सर, ते लिंकचं तुम्ही विचारत होते ना,
बाणेवार सर, ऐकलं तुम्ही?
डिस्क्रिप्शन मध्ये टाका ती.
होय होय.
हा.
ते कमेंट्स डिस्क्रिप्शन मध्ये टाका ती.
तर दिसतंय युट्यूबवर पण दिसतंय. ऑलरेडी 4-5 जण जॉईन झालेत युट्यूबवर.
हा सर, कमेंट्स त्यांनी ऑफ केलेत कारण ते स्पॅम.
बारामती मॅडम, ते तुमचं युट्यूब जे कंटिन्यू सुरू असेल ते ऑफ करा ना कोणाचं तरी.
माझं बंदच आहे सर.
सर, मला वाटतं तुमचंच चालू आहे का?
माझं सुरू आहे वाटतं काहीतरी.
हा, व्हॉल्यूम तुम्ही हे करा त्याचं.
तेच तर म्हटलं, केलंय केलंय.
माझं बंदच आहे सर.
सर, मला वाटतं तुमचंच चालू आहे का?
Mau, again. Mau. Yeah. Yeah.
मनीषा,
Oh,
यू म्यूट कर स्वतःला.
I'm sorry. Extremely sorry.
All the members are requested to mute their microphones.
कुलकर्णी सर,
हा
एक 5 मिनिटात सुरू करूयात काय
ओके 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 हा participants are joining 74
सर?
have joined on YouTube also. There are more than 15. So within a minute or two we will start.
ओके सर.
सुट्टी आहे ना सगळेजण, त्यामुळे जरा लेट आहेत सगळेजण.
सांगितलंय दुपारपर्यंत येऊ नको. Sir, shall we start now?
Yes, okay.
Huh?
Okay.
Okay. Padre sir, we are starting now. Good morning, everybody. Dr. Homi Baba State University is one of the first cluster universities started in 2019. It included numerous oldest and iconic colleges like Institute of Science, Sydenham College, Elphinstone College, and B.Ed College. Also, HBSU is one of the first university to implement NEP 2020. The National Education Policy of India 2020 was approved by the Union Cabinet of India on 29th July 2020. Of course, it replaces the previous education policy of 1986. Higher and Technical Education Department have asked the various universities to make aware of NEP 2020 under the title NEP 2020 Week Celebration, Engaging Activities Galore, which includes various activities. Today's online session is to outreach all the stakeholders and the students to make them aware of NEP 2020, that is National Education Policy 2020. Now I request our Dr. Professor Director, Professor S.B. Kulkarni sir, to address the audience. Over to Kulkarni sir.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good morning, one and all. On behalf of Dr. Homi Baba State University, Mumbai, and the Institute of Science, I welcome all the stakeholders of this Homi Baba State University. Our registrar, Dr. Yuvraj Malge, is also here. Our faculty members, head of the departments, students, some parents are also there. And today's speaker, Professor Padhe. First, I would like to clear that there is a little change in the program, because as you know that in New Delhi, on Pragati Maidan, there is one big exhibition and function regarding the celebration of anniversary of National Education Policy is going on. And it is proud that our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Rajneesh Kamath, has been invited there for participating on behalf of Maharashtra universities. So he has to rush there, and that's why we have made little modification. And equally eminent personality, Professor Padhe, who has actively participated in the implementation and the making draft of NEP for our Dr. Homi Baba State University and making the guidelines of this NEP 2020 for HBSU. He has contributed a lot. So we have invited him to give a talk to our stakeholders regarding NEP 2020. So this is a little modification in program. So today we are here to shed light on a crucial aspect of our Indian future, that is National Education Policy 2020. We know that education is a foundation upon which the growth of our entire nation rests, and the NEP 2020 is a visionary document that aims to transform the education landscape of entire education in our country as well as in state. So, and our Dr. Homi Baba State University is the best forum or best platform to implement the national education policy, because we are really, in true sense, we are interdisciplinary. Because we have 4 component colleges, institutions. Institute of Science is entirely dedicated for science faculty, while our Sydenham College is entirely dedicated for commerce and management faculty. Elphinstone College is having both humanities as well as science faculty, and our education college, a training college, is handling the interdisciplinary part. So really we are at the best to implement the National Education Policy 2020. And we are looking forward to a positive response from the stakeholders, because without participation of the stakeholders, particularly the students and parents, it is not possible for us to make the success of this national education policy. The success of this policy will depend upon the participation, equally participation from faculty members as well as the society, means the parents and students. So the great infrastructure that we are having, because our all 4 colleges are having great legacy, great alumni, almost 100-year old the institutions. We have great infrastructure. Our faculty is Public Service Commission selected faculty. The students are also beneficiary students. So if we work all hand in hand, definitely we will get the success in the implementation of NEP. So in that sense, today we have invited our faculty member, senior faculty member, and he is basically psychologist to deliver a talk on the implementation of NEP, particularly at Dr. Homi Bhabha State University and for the science stream as well as. So with this, I wish great success. Also, I will extend my thanks to our committee members for organizing such a good seminar for stakeholders as a part of celebration of our National Education Policy Week. So I will give the forum to Dr. Gayatri Barabde for further.
Thank you very much, sir. We have with us Dr. Vilas Padhe, Associate Professor and Head of Psychology Department, Homi Bhabha State University. Dr. Padhe, always been a meritorious student from Amravati University, was selected by Maharashtra Public Service Commission as a lecturer in psychology in 1997. He did his PhD in 2012 with a very interesting topic, teacher assessment by students in higher education in Maharashtra. He has published several national and international research papers and also authored 2 books, Manas Shastra Ek Parichaya, Adhunik आणि आधुनिक Samanya Manas Shastra. Also, one very prestigious project to his credit on college readiness and student success in higher education. Dr. Padhe developed the teacher assessment scale that is used in many colleges in the state to generate teacher feedback from the student. To deviate from this, he has made a wonderful documentary, Let's Save Bobby, which is on the tiger conservation, which has won several national and international awards. Lastly, but the best, he has won a prestigious award, Rajiv Gandhi Prashaskiya Gatimanata Puraskar 2006, in the hands of our Chief Minister, then Chief Minister of Government of Maharashtra. Dr. Padhe, he is the right candidate to explain about NEP 2020. I request Padhe sir to make us everyone understand what is NEP 2020. Over to Padhe sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. We have with us Professor Kulkarni, who is the Director of the Institute of Science. We are also joined by Professor Malghe, who is the Registrar of the University, responding to the dignitaries, and Dr. Barabde and Nodal Officer, Dr. Panevar, who is here with us, and all the esteemed colleagues, parents, students, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you. Incidentally, today is also World Tiger Day. And as Madam just mentioned, incidentally, I happen to be, passionately involved with the conservation work. So wish you a happy Tiger Day, and let's hope that we, keep the clock ticking, the numbers go on increasing. So with this, let us, move to our presentation today. Just please do tell me if my screen is visible. Is it, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it is visible.
It is visible.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay. So it's been quite some time since we have been using this. So suddenly I'm lost as to where exactly do we hide the screen. There is some button over here. Can someone please help me with this?
Sir,
Sir,
what
वरती
actually?
एक
Because
square
screen
है.
is
हा का ते कुठेतरी हाईड करायचं आहे. आता आपण काय झालंय, इट्स बीन सच अ लॉंग टाइम, वी ऑल हॅव वी आर बॅक टू आवर व्हॉट यू कॉल रेग्युलर लेक्चर्स. ठीक आहे, मी याला इथे कुठेतरी कोपऱ्यात ठेवायचा प्रयत्न करतो.
सर वरती एक चौकोन आहे, त्याच्यावर क्लिक करा.
हा मोर मध्ये बघा, रेकॉर्ड कॅप्शन रिएक्शन डिसेबल. अच्छा ठीक है, I would have loved this to go away. Chala, at least हे तरी कमी करूया. All right. So once again, a very good morning to all of you. Professor Kulkarni just explained, the circumstances, actually very nice, good, positive circumstances under which our honorable Vice Chancellor had to leave for Delhi. But there is this very old proverb that we all have heard of, that the show must go on. And with so many participants already keen to join, invites having been sent, cancellation is the last option, if at all. So it was collectively decided that we come together and see to it that some of the issues are addressed, some information is shared about the new education policy. And that's the reason why we all have gathered here today. Ladies and gentlemen, the first thing is, why do we need a new education policy? Many of you might be thinking, what is the need? Was there something wrong with the existing policy? Well, not really. When you talk about any system, any technology, even people and relationships, it's always continuously evolving. And the same old 10+2+3+2 system that we all have been through, I mean, all of the students, of course, till your graduation, we all as teachers, your parents sitting over here, we have been through that. So was that really a very bad system? No, that's not really the reason why we changed. Even if you look within that system, look at the changes that have already been happening. Say, for example, we used to have annual examinations, but now we have moved into semester-based examinations. Every 6 months, there's an exam. The focus on practicals, the focus on internals. So all these things change over a period of time because that is necessitated by the circumstances. Maybe it's technologies, maybe it's intertwining our education system with the rest of the world. We have a lot of Indian graduates going abroad to pursue post-graduation. Under these circumstances, many times it is felt necessary that we have a 4-year graduation across all programs, just to give you one example. So with so many things in mind, the government has finally decided to overhaul the entire system, like the credit-based choice system. We already had that in place. So credits are not necessarily new over here. But yes, there are a lot of changes that have been happening. And here we finally have a new education system that is in place. Okay. Now, what are the topics that would be covered? All right, I don't know where this really has come from. Is it there on the screen? I'm afraid. Okay. So sorry for that. I am afraid that's going to stay for some time now. Just please kindly ignore that. So what topics we are going to cover in this particular session? First of all, I would like to tell you something about Dr. Homi Bhabha State University. It might be, that some of you are sort of listening for this name for the first time. I think this screen is being shared with someone. Saurya or some name I could see, and there's someone else who has access to the screen. And that is where those scratches are coming from. I could just see a name over here. Okay, I don't think I have control over this.
Ganevar, sir.
Please see, dear participants, if you can, avoid touching the screen. Yes, it's going now. Thank you so much. So first, I'll tell you about Dr. Homi Bhabha State University. What all programs and what this new university is all about. I'll tell you about the new education policy, where I'll try to give you a broad perspective as to how this caters to higher education. I'll just briefly mention the 5+3+3+4 structure, because when you talk about NEP, I can't simply jump over to post-graduation. I think it's important to give you a bird's eye view of the entire structure that we have under NEP. We'll move to the undergraduate programs, where I'll tell you about the structure, although this might not be directly related to you. We have to, make a brief mention of this, and then we'll come to the postgraduate programs. I mentioned HBSU in bracket because I'll be telling you about these programs from the HBSU perspective as to how these programs are being run or will be run in the Homi Bhabha State University, because NEP is a broad structure in which they have given a certain liberty to individual universities, that within this framework or within this structure, you can do those minor changes that actually fit your university, your vision, and your motto. Then we'll talk about the advantages of NEP as to how exactly this new education policy will be helping you. What are your advantages as you enter your post-graduation? And finally, we have Dr. Vishal Bhanewar, who's the nodal officer of HBSU, also a faculty in the chemistry department. He is, here with us. So if there are any specific questions regarding the Institute of Science, for example, or any particular program, we have all the faculty members also over here, including the Honorable Director. But I hope you would also appreciate the fact that it won't be possible for us to go through each and every program in this limited period of time. So, but still, if there are any queries, you would have, people addressing that, and that we could merge with the question and answer session at the end. So, dear friends, let's start with the Dr. Homi Bhabha State University. Someone is playing with the screen over here. So, all right, thank you so much. So please ensure that, if it's being shared with someone, please don't, run your fingers over the screen. Okay, now, the Dr. Homi Bhabha State University, as you would see, was set up by the government of Maharashtra. This is the university that is run, controlled, operated directly by the government of Maharashtra. So many of you, if you've heard of this university for the first time, let me assure you, it's a proper government of Maharashtra university. As Kulkarni sir was mentioning over here a while ago, that all the faculty members, we are selected through the Maharashtra Public Service Commission, and we come here. So it's a proper state university, not to worry about that. Secondly, this university was established in 2019. All right, so Oz is the first cluster university to be established in Maharashtra, and I believe only the third to be established in India. So the first in Maharashtra, and after that, KC College, and they have come up with the NC something, and Rayat Shikshan has established one in Satara. So yes, few more are there that have come up, but Oz is the first. And with NEP getting implemented, the emphasis, the focus is more and more on cluster universities and more clusters being formed. So I could say with a lot of pride that we are the pioneers of cluster universities in Maharashtra. And again, just to assuage some of your concerns, if you have any, that HBSU is recognized by the UGC and your degree is 100% safe and valid. See, why I'm telling you this is because initially we had a lot of queries when people did not know of HBSU, when to come and inquire, ki sir, bacche ka admission to kar denge, but degree ka kya hoga, naukri milega, will it be valid? So let me assure you that your degree is 100% safe, valid. It is recognized by the UGC, and it is par with that of any other recognized university in India. So if you want to tomorrow go for another PG program or PhD program, I mean, UG kids would like to go for the PG programs, maybe a PhD program or any other competitive examination, maybe your GATE or, CSIR, NET and all, you are 100% eligible for that. So no worries about that. Regarding the 4 constituent colleges, Bharat Madam was already mentioning about that. We have the Institute of Science as a lead college. We have Elphinstone College, Sydenham College, and the Staff Training College. Each one of them almost 100 years plus old. Elphinstone was established in 1856. And if you look at these colleges collectively, well, each and every college, will require a session to just tell you about the legacies of these colleges. For example, the name Dr. Homi Bhabha, we have given the name of Dr. Homi Bhabha to our university. He himself was an alumnus of, our Institute of Science. talk about Elphinstone, for example, we have Dadabhai Nauroji, we have Dr. Ambedkar, Lokmanya Tilak, and so on. If you were to, look at the list of alumni, it's like opening a textbook of history. So we have a huge reputation and a huge, you could say, goodwill that has been generated over not just decades, but more than a century. And that is where, these 4 colleges have been identified to form the first cluster university of Maharashtra. Now, talking specifically about HBSU, individually about these 4 colleges, I think it's more proper that when you enter the colleges after your admissions, there will be induction programs that will be held, and you will be accordingly briefed about, everything about individual colleges. But basically, let's focus on the university now. As I said, we can just go on and on about our colleges. Now, what are some of the key features? Why would students come to HBSU? What is it that we have, an edge that we have over the rest of the universities? Let's begin from something very simple as a location. All right, something very geographical in nature. HBSU and our constituent colleges are located in the heart of South Mumbai. If you talk about the Institute of Science, you could just stand in the square and look beyond, and you could see the gateway of India. That's hardly a few hundred meters away. A few hundred meters away is the Marine Drive in Nariman Point. There you have the museum, Shivaji Chhatrapati Maharaj Museum, bang opposite us. We have Kala Ghoda, we have the Jahangir Art Gallery, and we can go on and on about it. So it's one of the best locations, extremely, reachable, approachable also. Whether you stay on the central line or the western line or the harbor line, all the terminuses that we have, Churchgate and VT or CSMT, they are in close. You can actually walk down from Churchgate, that's hardly 5 minutes. You can also walk down from CSMT, the younger generation, but a lot of metro work going on in between. There are buses that take you, 5 rupees, one-way ticket, and you are there in the institute within 10 minutes or so. The location is very important. We have heritage structures, all 4 of us. Like Elphinstone College is recognized by UNESCO in its World Heritage Structure sites. We have a huge academic legacy that I was mentioning about right now, including Dr. Homi Bhabha himself, a lot of scientists, a lot of social reformers, and a lot of leaders who have actually been the builders of New India. They are all, so many of them from our college itself. Colleges, I would rather say. We have hostels for boys and girls that these are in very close vicinity next to Churchgate Station. You might be aware of ABC roads there. You can always walk down, from the hostels to any of these 4 colleges to the Institute of Science here. We provide scholarships to all students. All the government of India, state government scholarships are very religiously, followed. We follow those, rules and regulations, and scholarships are given to students. We also follow the reservation policies in toto 100%. So everything, as I said, it's the government, university. All rules and regulations, are very strictly adhered to. The cost of education here is very low. If you compare the fee structure, for example, with the rest of, the private universities and colleges, you would actually find that the cost of education, being a government institute and a government university, it is very low. We have a lot of tie-ups or MOUs with some of the leading institutions. I will mention a few of them, in the slides to come. So that is another advantage that we have, that their resources, including not just physical resources like access to laboratories and libraries, also the talent pool, the resource persons, the faculty there, the scientists over there, you also get access to such resources. We also have a PhD program in our university. So post MSc, you could also enroll in our PhD program. And then we have a huge firm to make quick and efficient academic decisions. Like ma'am was saying, ours is the first university to roll out the NEP. As you might have read in papers, so many constituent colleges, or almost all of them in Maharashtra, have not been able to roll out the NEP this year. They'll be rolling it out next year. But we have been able to do that. Ours is ready, our programs are ready, the syllabi are ready, and we have already, for the undergraduate, for example, we have already started the classes. Now your admissions are underway, I believe, and we would be starting very soon with the PG programs also. So the thing is, This is just one example that will tell you that we can make very quick and efficient academic decisions, all decisions, especially including academic decisions over here. And then, should I say last but not the least, we have a very nice, good dynamic leadership. Unfortunately, sir could not join us today, but then we are very ably led by Professor Rajneesh Kamath, who is the Honorable Vice Chancellor of our university. There will be so many occasions where you would be interacting with him. Those of you who have joined late, I would just like to tell you that Professor Kamath has been invited to New Delhi for the anniversary of the new education policy, where he's representing all the universities in Maharashtra, and we take a lot of pride in telling you that. And hence, he could not, sort of attend the function today and could not address you. So rather than canceling this, we have decided that one of us will come forward and tell you about the new education policy. So after Professor Kamath has joined, a lot of positive changes have been occurring. A lot of MOUs have been signed, a lot of new programs have been initiated, a lot of construction, renovation work, laboratories getting revamped. And over the course of time, when he interacts with you, you would be, be holding him in awe, as most of us do, for his, dynamic leadership. Going forward, as I said, mentioning about a few of the MOUs that we have, Bombay Stock Exchange, obviously everybody knows that, and another, good place to see from our window. I can just sit in my window and look across, from the college. I can see the Bombay Stock Exchange is that nearby. So we have, for example, a BSc Data Science program that is being run by BSc, or rather in association with BSc. We have an MOU with BSc, where all the resources of BSc, including direct exposure to their systems and all, our students are getting direct exposure for that. We have, a tie-up or an MOU with CMET. You might be aware of the Center for Materials for Electronics Technology. We have an MOU with SAMEER, the Society for Applied Microelectronics Engineering and Research. So that is another one. And of course, who has not heard of TIFR, the Tata Institute of Fundamental Research. So this is just, a glimpse, a couple of institutes that I thought I would mention over here. Most of these, as you could see, related to the science faculty. The Institute of Science, has access to so many of their resources over here. And as students, you would get the same access. So moving forward now, let us come down to NEP 2020. Like I mentioned earlier, let's take a look at what's new in store, for the NEP in this NEP vision document. What you find is they have made a beautiful, let me take the pointer over here. Okay, they have, proposed a 3-dimensional model over here for education, all of education. So here, if you can see at the bottom, we start with pre. Pre is pre-primary, going to 1st to 5th to 8th, 9th, 10th, 12th, and so on up to UG 1, 2, 3, you can see. And here you can see a UG 4/PG1. I'll be telling about that shortly. And then you have a PG2, or you could have for engineering programs, another year of PG over here. What you can see over here is on this axis, you have what you call the academic axis. So this is the way a student would progress, as you also have a progress now from your pre-primary to 1st standard, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, up to your post-graduation, PhD, and so on. All right, this is the academic axis. But as the students moves on forward on this academic axis, you would also see that there are certain skills that also, he keeps on imbibing. So there's an upskilling model over here, where you start from something like a no education prescribed for pre-primary. All right, it's more of play and fun-based learning that you have. And then you go to read and write to, skills that will take you high up the ladder. For example, in a post-graduation, you'll be operating so many important, apparatus and machines, for example, so many software that would be at your disposal that you would be able to operate. So these are the skills that you would be picking up as you go up or you move up the ladder. Here, the third axis is experiential learning and proficiency. So one good thing about the NEP is internships and on-the-job trainings are inbuilt into the syllabus or the curriculum itself. So earlier, for example, only those students, especially from arts and science, I would say, who wish to do an internship outside, it was more of their choice to do it or not. But now an internship is an inbuilt part of the curriculum. So there'll be marks for that, in short, all right, credits that you'll have to earn out of internships. So that experiential learning is now a part of your curriculum, and you will have to, each student will have to undergo that. So now you shall see that as you progress, you also have an academic axis in which, you'll be moving up, skills will be getting upgraded, and experiential learning will also, you'll be moving on along that axis also. Now, as I said, although we are not focusing here on school education, I think it's my duty to just give you a very brief idea as to, where it all comes from and where you reach the PG level. So very quickly, I'll show you this table. Earlier, this is what we all have been through, even you and me and your parents, the 10+2 system. All right. Now what you do is you start with the 3+2 years. 3 years is preschool. You might call that preschool, KG1, KG2, or Anganwadi, Balwadi, or whatever the names that we use. But the first 3 years is all play-based, and then first and second standard. All right, this slash is not mine, my apologies still for that. Somebody got access and has run a finger over that, but don't take that as a cancellation mark over here. So this 2 year or 2 years, I would say, class 1 and class 2, these are the 5 years, 3+2. So here 5 + 3 + 4, this is the first 5 years. Preschool and first and second, all this is play-based learning. Then you go to the third, fourth, and fifth standards. You have more of interactive classrooms and activity-based learning. Then you go to the 6th and 8th standards, 6 to 8 standards rather, the next 3 years, more experimental learning, and then the 4 years rather than the 11th and 12th. Now you have 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th that have been clubbed together into one bunch, and there you have more critical thinking over here. That is what, and choosing subjects and flexibility and all that has been inbuilt over here. Even now, after the 10th standard, you get this flexibility to choose art, science, commerce, but now they are trying to incorporate that earlier on. 9th onwards, students will be able to do that. So that's just a brief idea of the school and junior college level, as we call it today. That's the structure that you have. We call it the 5 + 3 + 3 + 4 structure. That's school and junior college roughly put together. From there, this is, I had put in these 5 + 3 + 4 over here. No need for that. Now in higher education, basically you will have the UG programs, which could be 3-year programs, or these could be 4-year programs. I mean, that's basically a 4-year program in which you can take an exit after 3 years with a degree. So I'll tell you about that also. So you can have a UG, you have a UG program, and you have a PG program. Naturally, the PG program will be either of 2 years or 1 year, depending on which UG program you took. If you exited after 3 years, you will have a 2-year program, PG program. For example, your batch, all of you have come through a 3-year program, but that was default for all of us till now. But as batches progress and a batch, actually the first year UG batch reaches that 3rd or 4th year, it depends on their exit as to which PG program they will take. And then you also have an integrated UG program that would be, I'm sorry for this, which would be a 5-year program over here. That is, a person goes, that's not being rolled out this year in Maharashtra, but a person takes admission in first year and, right all the way up to 5th year in the same institution, same university, same college, same autonomous college could be, the person directly comes out with a postgraduate degree. Now, let's talk about higher education. This is where the students will come from, 5 + 3 + 3 + 4. After that, the student comes into the first year, undergraduate. Let's say BA, BCom, BSc, BBA, and whatnot. This is where the student enters, completes that, goes to second year, goes to third year. This is what we had till now, but now the student has an option to take the 4th year. So you'll have a 4 years of graduation over here, and then you have a PG first year and a PG second year. What you find is this PG is, fourth year of your UG is aligned with the first year of PG. They don't happen in succession, one after the other. What this simply, tells you is the UG 4th year is the same in the sense of the syllabus and credits as that of PG first year. So these two have been aligned together. So a person, for example, exits after the 3rd year with a degree, 3-year degree, which would be, let's say, a plain BSc degree. 4th year will give you a BSc with honors degree. But after this 3-year degree, the person enters the PG first year. But if, something like this, But if the student has completed the 4th year, the student will directly enter the PG 2nd year. If you look at, the overall structure, whether you take the 4-year and 1-year PG, 4-year UG, 1-year PG, or the 3-year UG and 2-year PG, the UG plus PG structure stays at 5 years. So there is no difference over here. So it's not that you will be missing out on anything, that the 4-year degree students will be coming now, will be getting an advantage over, at least as far as the 4th year is concerned, that has been aligned with your PG 1st year. So that is where you stay, at par with the rest of the students, the credits, for example. Now, what the UGC has said is anything between 20 to 22 credits per semester. We have picked up 22 credits so that we can give you more of, what papers and syllabus and practical work. So we have gone in for 22 credits. So this only symbolizes the first semester and the second semester put together. You have 44 credits in your UG 1st year. Similarly, 44 here, 44, 44, all the way up to your 5 years. So ultimately, 22 plus 22 is 44 for 5 years, or 22 credits for each semester. Each semester you have 10 semesters. Total UG plus PG will be equal to 220 credits. That is the entire structure of this program that you have over here. Now let me move to the undergraduate program. I'll just tell you briefly about what we have in HBSU. I'll just show you one slide, one example, but before that, let's talk about some certain common terms. For example, NEP. Now, all of you are aware of NEP. You've read that in newspapers. You've heard me say over and over again. When you see NEP, that essentially means the New Education Policy 2020. When you talk about the program is basically the degree that which you are seeking. For example, you have a BA program, you have a BSc program, you have an MSc program. So earlier you would use the term course. कुठल्या कोर्सला admission घेतली, कौन से कोर्स में admission लिया, अभी क्या कर रहा है? So you say, sir, MSc कर रहा हूँ. So now the term is program. So you are now enrolled in the MSc program. So that's the term. What is a course? Course is similar to the term that we used to call as a paper, which could be a theory paper or a practical. So you have a practical course, you have a paper, let's say analytical chemistry. So instead of saying a paper in analytical chemistry, you'll say that's a course in analytical chemistry. So the term now for the paper is course. So you have program, which is a broader degree program that you are pursuing, within which you will have many courses or papers like, and then there's a credit. When you earn a credit, it essentially reflects that you have mastered a certain content. So mostly, I'm saying mostly, each course will be equal to, let's say, 4 credits or 3 credits. There could be certain courses which are of 2 credits. All right. So every course will be designed, and according to the content of the course, it will be converted into credits. So a 2 credit course, a 3 credit, or a 4 credit course that you have, 1 credit equals to 15 hours. All right, you have 15, what you could say, hours or lectures. One lecture is of 1 hour. 15 credit course equals to, a 1 credit course is 15 hours. 4 credit course will have 60 hours, and so on and so forth. So 1 credit again is equals to 25 marks also. So let's say you have a 4 credit paper or a 4 credit course. Now, what does that mean? The course is worth 100 marks. All right. So that's the way you would be, taking this in. Then you have external exams, what you call as the theory exam, that will be 60%. For a 60-mark paper or a 60-mark course, you'll have for a 100-mark course, you'll have 60 marks of theory and you'll have 40 marks of internal. Now, this internal will include a host of activities. That is, one advantage that you have in NEP. That would include a lot of practical work, that would include case studies, that would include visits, that would include surveys, that would include anything and everything that the teacher and the department can envisage of in the interest of the students and the subject in his or her own faculty and department. For example, in psychology, I would have visits to, let's say, mental hospitals. For instance, I would have lectures organized, workshops organized on counseling skills. Someone in chemistry or physics would, take a visit to a TIFR or an NCL and would organize, workshops on certain of their instruments in instrumentation. So that's the way we have a liberty to have the internal marks and, space them out for the 40% marks that we have. Now, what are the courses that are offered? Just to give you a very quick, view, you have a concept of a major and a minor. That's at the undergraduate level, I'm telling you. Earlier, you would have, let's say, botany, CBZ is what you would call chemistry, botany, zoology, for example. Now you'll have only one major. So chemistry is your major. Very naturally, the major exemplifies that you have mastered most of the content in that particular subject. You have more credits in that subject, 50% and more to be very precise. And you could take another subject as minor, which can be from any other faculty also. So a person doing a BSc can take up psychology, or a person doing let's say a BA or a BCom can take up mathematics or statistics as a minor, for example. Then you have certain open electives which you take from the other faculty by default. And these will be very easy papers that we have kept. And then we have vocational skills that have been incorporated. We have ability enhancement courses, which include English, Hindi, Marathi languages. This is for the undergraduate level. That's why I'm taking you through this, very quickly. There are some value education courses like the Constitution of India, environmental science and all. You have the Indian knowledge system that has been inbuilt. All right. So let me assure you, this is not about mythology. We are here talking about a scientific temperament. Whatever the scientific development that we have, let's talk about physics, for example. There are a lot of astronomy, that our ancestors have studied. And we are not going to make you do any Janam Patri Kundli over here. Don't worry about that. This IKS will focus on the study of the planetary systems that we had. There are a lot of metallurgy, so chemistry people will incorporate a course like that. So this is all about the traditional Indian knowledge system that we have. Yoga, Ayurveda, and so. We had a lot of these knowledge systems. Then you will have co-curricular courses. Now see, the advantage is so many of us would, earlier opt for NSS voluntarily. Now you have the NSS, the NCC, sports, cultural inbuilt into the syllabus. This you did not have earlier into the program, that is. So you have a course on NCC now, on NSS now. Apart from the BNC certificate, you can get credits for this. So doing that, by your own choice is one thing. And having that as a part of your curriculum is another thing. So that is one more advantage. Then, as I said earlier, you have a lot of on-the-job training. You will have that in your, PG courses also. And then you will have certain field projects, a lot of research work. All this is now incorporated into the syllabus. All right, these are the research projects I was mentioning about. Now, very quickly, let me take you through a sample, credit distribution for first year. This is what it might look like. So this is semester 1. Level is 4.5. Second year is 5, 5.5, 6.5, and so on. Just to give you a glimpse of the UG structure, I think you should be, a bit aware of that, because, one more reason is you'll be completing your post-graduation in 2 years. Let's say 23, 24, 25, 26, 24, 25. By this time, these students who are in their UG will have entered their third year, and you might join as a faculty somewhere in some institute or in some college, university, and you might be actually teaching these students. So it's better that you have an idea of what's been happening at the undergraduate level. So you will have certain mandatory courses, which are major courses over here, some minor courses over here, OE electives over here, some skill-based courses. Then you will have something like an AEC, which is, let's say, English or Hindi, Marathi here. This is EVS, as I said, BEC, and then you have some AEC and a Constitution of India here and IKS over here. This CC is about your NSS, NCC, cultural, sports. You have a basket of courses from which the student will be able to choose. So that's the way the program is being aligned, taking into account your major component, your minor component, skill-based components, your value education-based component, traditional knowledge. OE is where you get to explore some other faculty, and then you have some on-the-job training and so on. Although you don't find OJT over here, that would be in your third and fourth year. All right. So that's why I just wanted to give you an idea about what the layout would be like. I won't be taking you through with the entire UG structure. This is where you get the 44 credits, 22 plus 22, and here you find a UG certificate written over here. I'll tell you briefly what this is, all about. At the bottom, you'll see there's an exit option. Award of UG certificate in major with 44 credits and an additional 4 credits, you would say, or an internship, Now, what this essentially means is, and if you allow me to take you to the next slide, I'll show you all the exit options. This is the first year 44 credits I was mentioning about as the certificate. Then you have the diploma after 2 years, a degree after 3 years, and a degree with honors or honors with research after 4 years. Now, what this essentially means is, if for some reason the student has to opt out, which we don't wish you should, there's a provision, and we don't wish that you really make use of that. We want you to continue all your 4 years, but for some reason, could be economic reasons, could be the transfer of parents, could be marriage of a girl or something like that, and she has to quit after 3 years, is not able to continue. See, what would happen earlier is, let's say you have had friends and cousins in engineering and have seen the story unfold, that the person was not able to clear the 4th year, so has completed 3 years of engineering. And because the person is not able to complete the 4th year, what happens? All 3 years are waste. What is the qualification of that person? 12th pass, 12th pass is the qualification. What about all the 3 years of effort? That all goes waste. So here at least you have an exit option, and you can say, I have a certificate after 1 year. I have a diploma after 2 years and a degree or a degree with honors. So that is one advantage. If for some very compelling reason you have to sort of take a break from education, you can, and you can rejoin, after, let's say, a 2-year gap, after 2 years of diploma, you take a 1-year gap. I think within 3 years, but you have to join. All right. So that is where you join the degree course once again. So that's what it's all about. And now we move to the all-important postgraduate programs. All right. This is what you all would be interested in, because I think all of you are seeking admission for the postgraduate programs in the Institute of Science. Now, let me tell you about, remind you rather of this slide that we have been through. You are entering at this level. After your 3 years of graduation, you are entering here at the PG 1st year, which is aligned with the UG 4th year. Of course, there is no batch in UG 4th year. The first batch is entering here at the UG 1st year now. All right. But anyway, that's just to remind you of where you are placed right now. So this is, the proposed structure. Why proposed? Because we just have one technical, what you call academic council meeting that is lined up, very soon. But rest of the things are in place. So this, for all practical reasons, is your structure. Now, what you see is you have entered level 6, like you started with 4.5 at, the UG 1st year. This is where you are. This is your semester 1. This is your major subject. What is your major? So you are taking admission, let's say for MSc Chemistry, biotechnology, zoology, environmental science, and so on and so forth. This is what you will call your major is. And here you have a DSC 1. This is your first course, which is made up of a 4+2 credit system. So 4 credits of theory and 2 credits of practical work that has been incorporated in this system, and that's mandatory for you. All right. You have 2 such courses or papers for the major component, and there will be 1 elective paper. Now, the elective is what the departments will tell you individually. We can't really tell you right here, because every department, for example, let's talk about chemistry. You could have, analytical chemistry as an elective, or physical chemistry as an elective. That will be decided by the department. And this is something that you have a choice which elective to choose. Talking about, let's say, psychology, for example, somebody is interested in industrial psychology, somebody into clinical and counseling, similarly. All right. In let's say physics, you would again have these verticals. In environmental, any program, you would have verticals for electives, and you would be ready to able to choose any one of these. See, what you can see over here is a research method course. That is a mandatory course over here. This research method course actually explores all the core concepts of research. The term itself is self-explanatory. Research methodology as to how to go about, doing your research, how to frame a hypothesis, how to collect samples, whether, the sample is of people or the sample is, from your laboratory. You are using, instruments for that. Whether it's a slide, it's a chemical, whatever it is. How do you collect that? How do you analyze that? What are the statistical tests and techniques you will be using for that? All that will be covered in the mandatory research methods paper. This is one advantage that you have that was not there probably in most of the earlier programs. They would not have this component. So this is where you get an advantage. You have to here. Then what you have is, in the second semester, you'll have again 2 papers or courses here, another one. And now you could see wonderfully, you have an on-the-job training. So either you could choose for an on-the-job training, or you could take a field project. I've already mentioned that we have a tie-up, with a lot of institutions. We could have tie-ups with industries, and students, could actually go to these industries and complete their on-the-job training over there, like an internship or an OJT. You would go there, you would work there. All the formalities have been worked out the number of hours that you have to spend. There are summer, what internships that you have. You go there, work there, how it will be carried out, who will be monitoring that. Everything is there in place. I won't take much of the time explaining all those minutiae over here, but it suffices to say that now an on-the-job training here is a part of your syllabus over here. Those of you who are more inclined to do research can always go for the field project over there. You already have a research methodology course. You can do some field project over here. Or those who are more inclined to work in the industry later, very naturally, you would be more inclined to do the on-the-job training over here. Similarly, in the next semester, what you have is this. You have 2 courses here on a major, one over here, and a research project that is mandatory. This field project was different, and this is a research project. 4 credits over here and 6 credits over here. All right. Now you can very naturally see a lot of emphasis that has been given on research work in your postgraduate program. You will be earning 22 credits in each semester, and that's the way your 2-year postgraduate program for MSc will be basically. All right, just give me a moment. I'll just start my, just turn on my charger over here, because I think I had a signal of battery low. Okay, so if you would take a look at this, this is what your structure would be looking like. Now, as I said earlier, for the UG level, you also have an exit option, and I will again repeat, we don't really want you to take this option, but for some really unfortunate reasons that you really have to, there's an exit option. You may get, or you will get, if you choose to exit, a PG diploma in your discipline, a PG diploma in chemistry, zoology, botany, and so on and so forth, with these 44 credits that you have accrued over here. This is equivalent to a PG diploma. All right. And then when you, and we do wish you continue with, your second year of PG, here you exit with a 2-year PG degree with 88 credits. So you have an option, that's an option. Remember, not that you necessarily need to. You can get a PG diploma, come back and complete a year later or something like that with a PG degree over here. So that's the structure that we have for the post-graduation over here. Okay. Now, very quickly, I'll take you through some of the advantages of NEP in the concluding part. Number 1 is active pedagogy. See, earlier it was more of theory, the chalk and talk method that we had. Teachers would keep on giving, conducting lectures, and more of theoretical base. Now you have 40% of internal. Some of the programs might have had it earlier on, but I can assure you most of the majority of the programs did not have. Arts, commerce especially did not have any of, the internals. We did have a 20% internal in HBSU, but most universities did not have it. Most. Now you have more of active pedagogy. As they say, doing is the new learning. You must have read about this, heard this phrase. It's no longer mugging up and appearing for MCQ examinations. Doing is the new learning, and that is essentially what the active pedagogy is all about. You have development of core capacities and life skills. All right. So through your even, the co-curricular courses like an NCC and an NSS or a yoga, you are essentially developing life skills over here. So not just, an optional, whether you wish to do NSS or not, or a yoga or not, this is now inbuilt in the structure. You have an experimental learning at all stages. We have value-based or vocational skills and skill-based courses right from the undergraduate level. A lot of practical, practical work happening that gives you a lot of experimental learning, for you to explore. There's a holistic progress card. If you look at your, BA, BSc degree, or I were to look at my own, what that tells me is only the subjects that I passed, the papers that I passed. All right. We unfortunately, I've done my CSET NCC. I have to tell that differently. Arey sir, maine wo bhi kiya hai, but it does not, reflect anywhere on my card, on my report card or my mark sheet anywhere. Now you'll have a very holistic progress card where all of these courses will be mentioned. You have a transformation, in the assessment, rather than the mugging up and, just writing that, long answer, short answer, and the supplements. Oh my God, we all have been through that, situation where you are sitting there and giving your paper and you've hardly finished 10 to 12 pages. And you actually find, one student walking up to the teacher and, ma'am, supplement. And the rest of the students are looking at each other like, what supplement? Idhar to hamara 10 pages bhi nahi hua. So we had a lot of emphasis on kitna supplement lagaya, how much did you write? Now all that will be passe. More and more of promotion of that critical and higher order thinking. That's what we have, a flexible and multidisciplinary approach. I've already told you about the open electives and all. You have an integration of vocational education. All right. Through those vocational skill courses, a lot of vocational education is now embedded into the core education system. Very interesting, you can accumulate credits from other institutions or online program platforms like MOOCs, massive open online courses. Make sure, just a word of caution, when you do these programs, you have to tell the organizer, the university or the institute, to upload your credits on the ABC, the Academic Bank of Credits. All right, we'll have another session on the ABC for you. So all of the marks or the credits, as we call it now, they are now uploaded. I think many of you might have already done that. Your respective colleges might have told you about that, and you already have an ABC account. But these MOOCs and these other, institutions where you go and do a certain, course, a certificate course, you can get those credits uploaded in your name, although your degree is from HBSU. There's a lot of emphasis on research and innovation. You already saw the lot of OJTs and a lot of research projects that you have incorporated over here. What happens is there's an enhanced employability. Employable graduates is a big crisis in India. The PwC report, but that was back in 2007. If you recall, you'd be shocked to know only 5% of graduates in India are employable, is what the report said. Non-engineering, non-medical graduates. 5% of graduates are employable. I mean, that's a very pathetic state of affairs, although that was more than 10 to 15 years back. That percentage, I know, I read a report from McKinsey that goes to something around 17%. Already from 5%, we have moved to 17%. That's still very low. Now you have on-the-job trainings inbuilt over here, over 2 years, third year of your graduation in the new education policy, and the fourth year over here. You will actually have to go and do on-the-job training, go to industries and work over there. So that actually increases the chances of employability, makes you better employable graduates. And then you have better research opportunities. Again, a lot of research projects incorporated over here. And finally, the flexibility in the duration of the course. You can space it if you really, really wish to. Although we would like you to continue that, 2 years on the trot, if at all for some reason you wish to, you can always, space it according to your convenience. So that's what we have, some of the advantages that we have for you. So with this, rather than saying thank you and goodbye to you, I would take this opportunity to welcome you all to the HBSC family. The students over here, as I said, we are joined by the faculty from the Institute of Science. We have Dr. Vishal Bhanewar who will be taking over from here. Any of your questions and queries, very specifically programs and courses, we are there. But what I would suggest is to come over to the institute, meet our faculty, take a look around, come to the university, and get a better idea of the offline world, as we are used to saying now. With this, I thank Professor Kulkarni, Madam, Madam, and Master for inviting me here. Although I was here to fill a vacuum that was created by the compelling absence of our Vice Chancellor. Nobody can ever do justice to what PC sir has to say. And I try to give you a basic idea over here as to what the NDP is and what is in store for you in your postgraduate program. So with this, allow me to take your leave. Once again, thank you and welcome to the Institute of Science for HBSU.
Thank you, Padde sir. Any questions? Anybody would like to ask any question?
Yes, Vishal Bandewar sir is also here. So just in case there are specific questions related to the specific courses in ISC, we both are here to help you out. He is also the nodal officer, by the way, and was very actively involved in the framing of this draft, the document that we have. So
Yes, sir.
there's no please come up with questions.
Yeah, thank you, Padre sir, for your kind gesture. I think that with this such a brief descriptions and explanations, so I don't think that there will be any needs to make a more explanations on the structure or structure of this curriculum that we are going to offer for the students who are taking admissions the first year of in our institute. Only one thing I want to assure you for those students, like I can say that you just come here and just you shape your future in Institute of Science, because the one thing each and every students wish to have or wish to know about the employability, just as the sir is Padre sir was talking about. I'm very happy to tell you everyone that we had the 100% internship 100% internships for our students, as well as and we have the 100% placement results for our students. You will be very surprised to came to know that we had many staff members who has already the students of our institutes or students of our like a college. So you can say that not only in industries, there is a field of industries, but in all sorts of fields, our students are placed and they are occupying a very good positions. So that's the only placements and all that for in case of placements and all that one. So the Institute of Science is always leading from a front. So thank you, Padre sir, for all these brief descriptions of the structures. Ma'am.
Baneva sir, please propose the vote of thanks to Padre sir.
Yes. So we are at the last point of this the program, and very good informative talk of NEP at 2020, especially for the Institute of Science students for the PG level. On behalf of the Institute of Science and the Dr. Homi Bhabha State University, I extend my heartfelt gratitude for gracing us with the profound insight and valuable knowledge during the talk on a National Education Policy 2020. Sir, your presentation was truly enlightening and has left an indelible impact on all of us present today. Your expertise in the field of educations and your articulate deliver captivity our minds and hearts, making the complexities of National Education Policy 2020 much more accessible and comprehensible to all of us. The way you illustrate the key principles, goals, and the potential impact of the policy has provided us with a deeper understanding of its significance in shaping the future of education in our institutes. Your talks serve as a beacon of inspirations, encouraging us to actively participate the implementation and evaluations of this transformation policy. The vision shared of a more inclusive, holistic, and the innovative education system has ignited a renewed passions within each one of us contribute our best to the achievement of education of our nations. We are sincerely appreciate the time and efforts you invest in preparing the and delivering this talk, which is undoubtedly required extensive research and dedications. Furthermore, I would also like to acknowledge and express gratitude to all the attendants who actively participants in this talk. I'm very much thankful to our director, Professor Dr. S.B. Kulkarni sir, for giving us a platforms to our students to just come to know of this new education policy structure for which we are offering for our students. I'm also thankful to Professor Dr. Gayatri Bharadwaj ma'am and Dr. Shekhar sir for their efforts they are taking to make these programs very reachables to all the students and all the staff members. I'm also thankful to all the staff members who and all the teachings and non-teachings members and students who helps us directly or indirectly for making this successful organization of this program. And I'm at the last. I'm also thankful to Dr. Homi Bhabha State University for providing us the platform for this programs. So thank you all for joining, and from the media, those who are watching this programs on YouTube live. So we are all thankful to all of them. Only one request to all the participants and all the viewers. That we already have pasted the links of feedback link for today's talk. We just request you to please submit the links, which fill the Google form links and submit us. Thank you all. Thank you, Padre sir, for being with us.
Thank you, Manivan sir. We can leave now.
Yeah. I think that with the that is a permission of a chair, I would like to end the meeting.
Yes, and participants, please fill in the feedback form.